Hello, my name is Joe Meyer. 한국 이름은 조민우입니다. I was adopted from Korea at the age of 3 with my older brother, who was 5, to the United States. Now I'm 38 years old and I live near Chicago in the US, and I work there as a civil engineer for the local government. I don't know too much. Of course, I was too young to have any memories at the time. As I've gone through the birth search, I've kind of pieced some things together. I think that we were very poor. I think that my family moved to Bucheon to work in some of the factories. And supposedly my father had passed away. There was no record or indication my mother was in Bucheon at the time. And we were turned over by the city to the adoption agency. I personally don't have any memories of my father. My older brother, he does have some memories of Korea and very few memories of specifically our father. He does vaguely remember him passing, but he was very young. He was only 5 years old. He told me that he remembered our father burning. So I don't really know what that means, but again, it's the memories of a 5-year-old. Sure. So we were adopted to the United States, and we were raised by a white family in Minnesota, which is a state in central US. So unfortunately, our life wasn't too great. There was some abuse in the family, and my brother had a particularly hard time in regards to that and struggled with drugs and guns, and ultimately went to prison because of that, and now I'm not really in contact with my older brother anymore. Yeah, it was actually, it's what made childhood a bit difficult. He needed a lot of attention because of the drug abuse, and there was a lot of treatment with our family as a whole. And I remember just feeling that it was unfair that I had to kind of go through this, even though my brother had these problems. I was young, it was a little bit selfish to think of it that way, but I strongly remember just feeling that I wanted to get out of the situation as quickly as possible. And so as soon as I turned 18, I went off to college to try to get away from my family in that situation. I think it's a difficult question, but I think it's kind of two parts at this time. The first part is to kind of learn of a life lost in Korea. So when I came to the United States, you lose all that, you kind of push it away, and you really focus on assimilating in the US. So it's kind of trying to figure out those years lost and a life lost in Korea. The other part of it, unfortunately, is now my own personal rights, where some of my information on the adoption records seems like it's been falsified. So I'd like to discover some truths about my adoption and the file from the agency. If I were able to meet my birth mother, I would start off with just who she is, what she does. I'd want to share with her about my own life and about where my brother is right now. I think she'd be interested in knowing that. And then later on, I would really like to know the situation of my adoption and what my life was like in Korea.
어린 시절 이 형제들의 모습을 보시고 친척 되시거나 또 친모 되시면 연락을 바랍니다. 애타게 친모와 친척들을 찾고 있습니다.